Welcome back, everybody. I'm Happy Tangent, and this is Vampyr part... Let's go with part 6. I always lose track. This is going to be the second half of the hospital. That looks like our friend Strickland. Now we got to talk to Mr. Dan Ackroyd.
Good evening, sir.
Oh, I'm sure
Dr.
you guys
Reid.
are
I believe we're going
excited to start with
Reid?
a
Yes,
talking.
I've been informed about your arrival. I'm Waverly Ackroyd.
Oh, Waverly,
Welcome
okay.
aboard, I suppose.
Does my arrival inconvenience you in some way, Dr. Ackroyd?
Let us just say that I don't particularly share Dr. Swansey's enthusiasm for hiring you. What we need here are reliable professionals, not overrated dabblers.
Overrated dabblers, that's a new one.
If you have a problem with me, Dr. Ackroyd, please feel free to tell me.
Dr. Swansey has imposed your presence on this hospital without asking anyone's advice. The benefit of his position. But I don't agree with it.
I know we've never met before, but I believe this hospital could use all the help it can get. You will agree with that, I'm sure.
Oh, but I have heard about you, Dr. Reid. Of course, you can't say the same about me, since I have not wasted my time courting the press.
See, this game is really padding its numbers by all this voice acting. Typically, when I'd be playing on my own, of course, I'd skip a lot of this because I can just read it quicker than they say it out loud. But for your benefit, we're going to listen to every little bit of it. Sorry. Alright, no need for animosity. Jealousy will do you no good. You better change your tone with me. Yeah, we're going nice guy, nice guy. No need for the animosity.
There is no need for such animosity between us. Don't you think the epidemic is already enough to deal with?
That is one point we could agree on. And that is precisely why I want to be sure that you will be of help to this hospital, instead of a burden.
Alright.
Since your tenure in this hospital is longer than mine, perhaps you can tell me more about this place.
Let's just say I'm tired of the carelessness around me. I have always respected the skills of Dr. Swansey, but over time his enthusiasm has become displaced.
Carelessness? Exactly what are you talking about?
Okay.
We're
Always
here to
forget I can
save
rotate.
lives. The people who trust us are not volunteering for experimentation. They're here to be healed.
I don't intend to run any radical experiments, Doctor. Even if I, as any good practitioner should, express an interest in pushing the boundaries of medical research.
Modern medical methods were created through audacity and ego. But there are rules in our line of work, and they're here to protect our patients.
Alright. I was going to back up, or I wasn't going to pick this one yet, but it looks like we ran out of options. I'd have to back. But let's go ahead. I believe this is one of the mesmerized deals, where I get all deep voiced on him.
Tell me, Waverly, what do you think of Dr. Strickland's enthusiasm for his experimental
His voice is deep
research?
no matter what.
Strickland is playing
the
with his
reverberation.
patients' lives for pride and glory. Now that, sir, is unethical.
Are you thinking about something in particular?
Harvey Fiddick needs delicate surgery. I believe we should stick to the usual procedure, but my young colleague obviously disagrees.
Oh, there's a gaming option for you. Alright.
Why do you wish to lead this surgery?
I strongly believe that Mr. Fiddick should not be butchered to test an unproven procedure.
You will assume the consequences. I trust your judgment. It's a conservative point of view. Well, we don't know which way to go yet.
Other people may say that's too conservative a point of view.
Conservative? And what are you going to say to Mr. Fiddick if he loses his arm because of the operation? Because that's what's going to happen
I'm gonna
if the
say, let me
surgery
give
is
you
a
a hand.
failure.
And are you not afraid that your rivalry with Strickland may be blinding you?
Rivalry? I guess you could call it that. But I will never be childish enough to let my personal feelings affect my judgment.
Oh, that's good. Alright. You got something personal. 2 things to
It
go with
seems
right
you
now.
have bad memories of your military service.
I refuse to see this industrial slaughter as scientific progress. War only reveals the worst in men.
We can at least agree on something, Dr. Ackroyd. I don't know what you've heard about me, but I have already proved my value as a practitioner.
I don't question your skills, Dr. Reid, but your motive. Is it money? Fame? Or are you truly dedicated?
And what exactly is that supposed to mean?
I served in the war just like you. But unlike you, I did not use the wounded to play the modern sorcerer.
Be careful what you insinuate, Dr. Ackroyd.
I only want you to admit you used those men to improve your theories.
Quiet. No reason to justify my actions to you. I have saved many lives. Knowledge is our main weapon.
This is ridiculous. My blood transfusion technique saved many lives, and you know it.
You see? That is exactly what I hate about people like you. You avoid this kind of accusation instead of facing reality.
I'd knock your teeth in.
Thank you for your time. We'll talk later.
I do not like you. Okay, that's Fiddick. That's, come on, I'm good with names. That's Strickland. That's Dan Ackroyd.
You always knew the words to call.
Oh, where's the patient? Let's just check our bedside manners. Alright. Not see anything else in there. Don't know if we went that way yet. I'm gonna go back to that patient. Alright, yeah, and this leads to the main hall. Alright, that's Ackroyd. Okay, let us check on our patients. Oh yeah, and just double check them. This should lead outside. There's a sign that says hospital full. Okay. Pretty much got the left wing almost done here now. Alright, don't mind me, patients. I'm just trying to steal from you if you got anything good.
This hospital seems to be
Who is
apart.
Beatrice?
But in the
Must be
circumstances,
his
I'm
wife
willing
or
to give
mother
him the
or
benefit of
something.
doubt.
We got two options. We'll go with her first. He's not going nowhere.
Good evening, madam. Can I help you?
It's my son who needs you, sir.
I'm Dr. Jonathan Reid. How can I help your son?
I'm Beatrice Goswick, mother of Mortimer Goswick. Could you check on him, please, Dr. Reid? I've heard much of your talents as a physician.
Well, you're not wrong there. I am talented. Alright.
What can you tell me about yourself, Mrs. Goswick?
Not much to say. Just take care of my Mortimer and I'll cover all the expenses. That's all that matters.
Are you that rich, lady?
Are you really that rich? Most of the patients here are of a more humble origin, if I may say so.
Yes, thanks to my husband. May he rest in peace. I can cover any needed medical expenses.
May I ask if you have an occupation, Mrs. Goswick?
I'm a teacher by profession. I teach young women who are more ambitious about their futures than their families.
Hint required.
What do you think of your reception here? Any complaints?
I have had the uttermost reservations about this hospital since we arrived. But we had no other choice, considering the state of emergency.
Is there something in particular that's bothering you?
Some of the staff were not especially welcoming. I suspect they're not accustomed to dealing with patients of such social standing.
Speak pretty highly of yourself.
Tell me more about your arrival at the Pembroke Hospital. What gave you such a bad first impression?
The ambulance driver was quite rude. For a start.
Nobody likes
And
Milton.
that nurse, Miss Hawkins, seems to have quite a dubious attitude.
What do you
Oh,
mean?
and that's his
She
lady
managed to secure a
friend.
bed for my son despite the epidemic. It was a relief, but it wasn't cheap.
They are profiting. I share your stupor.
She charged you for a bed?
Yes, and I
They're
paid
taking
without
some money on
question,
the side.
considering the urgency of the situation.
I share your concern, Mrs. Goswick. Be sure that I'll talk to the people involved.
I don't expect compensation, Dr. Reid. But I'm aware such behavior would not be tolerated in other hospitals.
It will not. Alright. Got all those. And good. I always like it when I don't have to
Goodbye,
do a whole
Mrs. Goswick.
bunch. I'd like to get over to that morgue for us. Alright, here's your little tiny Mortimer.
Good evening. I'm Dr. Reid. Can I help at all?
No,
Really? Why are you here then?
I don't want to talk. My throat hurts too much.
I suppose that this pain is the reason you're here. Is someone taking care of you?
Yes. And no.
Could you at least tell me your name, sir?
Mortimer. Mortimer Goswick.
How painful is your throat, Mr. Goswick?
So painful I'd rather not talk at all, Doctor.
Okay.
I'll let you get some rest then.
I'm alright. Don't waste your time with me.
Alright, well, we gotta talk to you.
Good evening,
I'm
Mr.
sorry.
Goswick. How are you?
I'm okay.
Oh, good. You sound better.
How painful is your...
So painful, I'd rather...
But we must.
I'm sure you realize a doctor and his patient have to communicate, sir. Would it help if I gave you some paper and a pen?
Not really.
I see. Then maybe it's not just your throat that hurts, Mr. Goswick. Perhaps your sore throat is just the consequence of something more hurtful.
Yes, maybe. But I don't want to talk or even write about it now.
Why did your mother have you hospitalized here? She seems convinced this is a bad hospital.
My mother just wants the best for me. She won't rest while I'm here. She'd go all the way to hell and back to help me.
Sounds like Kratos.
Pembroke Hospital may look unorthodox, but rest assured you're in good hands here.
It's not me you have to convince, Dr. Reid. It's my mother.
Is your mother bothering you? As your doctor, I can ask her to leave you alone if you would prefer.
That's tempting, Doctor. But you have no idea what my mother is capable of. She would tie herself to my bed if you asked her to leave.
I know I can be pretty persuasive to get her out of here.
Tell me about yourself, Mr. Goswick.
I don't want to talk, Doctor.
Well, that was easy enough.
I have to go now, sir.
Yep.
But
Lots
don't
more to talk
hesitate
to.
to contact me if you need any help.
Good evening, sir.
Alright.
Doctor.
Alright, at least we know that basically this side of the hospital is clear. I'm worried that we're not going to make it to the morgue this time either. Alright, that's Crane. Ackroyd, is that Rakesh? No, it's Strickland. Rakesh should be outside. Who are you? Oh, you're... I'm talking to you real quick because
Good evening, Nurse Hawkins.
there might be
evening,
new
Dr.
stuff
Reid.
to talk about with you. Alright, let's just double check. Doesn't look new. Anything here? How about this? Oh, here we go.
Pepper,
We
are
found
you
her
sure
letter,
you
that's
want to
right.
leave this hospital.
To become a nurse was a little girl's dream. But in the end, I don't feel that useful. I want more. I want to make things change.
Be proud of what you achieved. Patients need you. This isn't acceptable.
You should be proud of what you've achieved. This hospital represents hope for many people in need of help.
Maybe you're right. But at the moment, I feel like we're just a cemetery waiting room.
Pretty good. Alright, so we did that, but we unlocked something. Okay, I don't see what we unlocked,
Goodbye,
so we'll
Nurse
leave it
Hawkins.
for now. Okay, let's meet some more patients. I'm gonna double check behind the desk. I think we already did that. We already did that room, actually. First thing when we got here.
So many deaths.
So hopefully there's not too many people over here.
My own life.
Just a vampire. New collectible. What do we got here? Alright, let's do some reading. About the use of garlic and wooden stakes. Dear brothers, I must now draw your attention to a very important point. The use of garlic as a protection against vampires. Let's be crystal clear on the subject. Garlic will never protect you against those creatures. No matter how fresh, how strong, and how smelly. Garlic is totally useless as a defense. I can never say enough how damaging that novel of Bram Stoker has been. Yes, of course, population of Slavic countries place garlic cloves in coffins. Yes, of course, inhabitants of Santorini, Sartini Island, whatever, hang garlic on their windows. There would be so much to write about this place, and someday soon. I hope to go back to the island to further explore its occult tradition. But that is not to protect the living from the devil. It is to tell the dead that they are aware of their malevolence. It is a symbol, nothing more and nothing less. So please, by all means, yes, wear garlic, show garlic, hang garlic, and tell the shadows that you are not afraid. But if you are looking for supernatural protection, you will have to search much deeper into the forgotten secrets of the occult tradition. For here is the truth. My fellow brothers, garlic does not repel vampire, but all the fresh plants will hurt them. It is as if their body could not stand the presence of botanical elements. I have seen an enraged Volp flee when whacked with a rose. Yes, a simple rose. I have witnessed a violent Ekin fall down and beg for mercy when struck by a wooden stake. I don't know why it's so effective, and I would give my left arm to find the answer to that mystery. But the truth remains nevertheless, vampires are very sensitive to fresh herbs, plants, and woods. Okay, that's kind of interesting. Alright, there's Mrs. Howcroft, I believe. Let's just do our little Thelma Howcroft. She's immortal. And this guy kind of looks like a burn victim from like a bomb, I remember. Let's see if I can get it to focus on her. Okay, it looks like it's gonna be both of them because it's not letting me.
Good evening, sir. Can I help you?
Unless you're here to fix my face. No. I don't think you can help me.
I'm Dr. Reid. I've recently taken the position of head surgeon here. War injuries, am I right?
You guessed right, Doctor. German shell took my pretty little mug right off.
You're not that bad.
But they still call me Thomas Elwood.
Kind of reminds me of Fallout, one of the ghouls.
How is your stay with us, Mr. Elwood?
Oh, it's bliss.
I mean, I wasn't trying to offend the guy
I
by
just
saying
escaped
that.
death in the trenches to be surrounded again by the moans of the dying.
Can I ask you precisely why you're a patient here?
It's the pain, sir. The drugs don't work. It just hurts under the scars, if you get my drift.
Can I do anything for your pain?
Nurses gave me a bunch of pills. No effect. Told you. It's like the flames are under my skin, burning away.
I think he wants a Kevorkian.
Who is treating you? Is someone in particular looking after your case?
Nobody since the old and tired doctor spoke to me. Started to think I was forgotten about. Wouldn't blame you.
You don't seem worried by that.
My face hurts so much more when I smile or cry. I've learned it's easier not to speak. But be assured I'm smiling inside.
Why do you feel responsible for the injury, Thomas? What really happened?
I wasn't disfigured by any German shells. It happened during my leave. It was an accident.
Why lie about it?
Come on. It's one thing to come back disfigured by the Germans, and it's another to get injured in an accident that could have happened to anybody.
Reconstructive surgery has been very successful for some soldiers.
I don't want to wear a bloody mask for the rest of my life. I'd rather stay here and just be forgotten.
Dang. Oh shit, Hinton failed.
Tell me what really happened.
Wonder if you can, like,
I
get
went
that
with a
back.
whore in Rouen. Dead drunk I was. The hotel was a shithole. There was a fire that night.
Did you start the fire? Were you trying to avoid going back to the front? That's not uncommon, you know.
No. It's just that I was asleep when the flames reached the room. The girl was long gone. Bitch never woke me up. Left me to burn.
Damn. I want to test that again real fast. That whole hint failed.
Why do you...
I wasn't...
Why lie?
Come on.
Recon...
I don't want...
Okay, nothing new.
Where were you stationed, sir? Did you serve for long?
I really don't want to talk about all this shit.
No offense. I was pushing too much. I served in France myself. I just wanted to know what happened to you.
You were an officer, weren't you? Then I doubt we fought the same war, sir. No offense.
Offense taken.
How close are you to Miss Hawcroft? Are you aware that she thinks she is a vampire?
To wait for her next nibble is the best reason to stay here. Every time she approaches my bed, she treats me like something tasty. A normal person.
Aren't you afraid? She may hurt you if the game goes too far.
She's quite harmless, I can assure you. Her head's broken inside is all. Her arm busted on the outside. But she's still beautiful. Living proof that there's hope for me.
I really wish she was a vampire.
So do you let her bite you? You know that's not sanitary.
And why not? She's only supping a few drops of me blood. And the pain, it's real for once.
She could decide to bite less willing patients.
Then it's another good reason for me to stay here, Doctor.
You do realize she's mentally disturbed. It's called the Cotard syndrome.
She's standing right
She
next
truly
to us,
believes
like
she's
3
a
feet away.
vampire.
In her madness, She never refers to my scars. And frankly, if I could, I'd join her world. It seems much more fun than the real one.
Okay, did we do this?
Where were you stationed?
I really don't want...
No offense.
Okay,
You
yeah, we
were.
did. We already did this one. Did we gain another hint? Let's just check this.
Why do you...
I wasn't...
Okay.
Goodbye for now.
I want to double check something real quick. So there's 2 more people probably involved at this hospital. I wonder. Oh, so these people have issues with them. Okay. Let's see. Oh, so one failed. So if we were to drink his blood, we'd get 850. Hint lost. I probably can't ever get it back. You know, I'm not gonna fret. Yada yada yada. So, okay, we're not gonna drink his blood anyhow, unless like the game allows it and it's still considered a pacifist. All right, so she wasn't standing next to me. She ran away. Is that Sean? Sean something or other?
I cannot enter.
Locked door. Let's talk to her again real quick, and then we'll hit up the guy
Good evening, Miss
behind
Howard.
us.
I need blood, Doctor.
All right. If you notice, I skipped some stuff, and that's because we have talked to her before. So only picking new stuff.
Tell me, Thelma, why do you feel so attached to Mr. Elwood? Why him?
I'm not sure, Doctor. I think we have a bond of some sort. We've both suffered so much. He's the only mortal I find interesting.
Do you plan to make him a vampire too?
Of course not. How could I inflict my curse on anybody else? I'm not that cruel, Doctor.
I just think it's a crazy coincidence.
Would
that
you say
we're in a
you,
vampire
Mr.
game?
Elwood,
She happens to be at this hospital.
romantically involved?
No. No, Thomas is a delicate soul. Even though he disguises it. But I am not the woman he needs. No, for I am a vampire, Doctor.
This is true. You have told us that. Just double check. Alright, we're good to
I'll
go.
leave you.
I wish I could be sick again.
Alright, let's talk to our buddy. I believe this is Sean.
Good evening, Mr. Hampton. How do you feel?
Dr. Reid,
Yep.
is it? Oh, sir, I must apologize for my behavior.
What do you mean?
I was not myself in the factory. Fear and exhaustion made me say awful things to you, I'm afraid.
You remained perfectly nice and polite. A little delirious, perhaps. But who wouldn't be after enduring an abduction?
Thank you, Doctor. That's a relief. Now all I need to do is rest and return to my flock.
How did you end up in William Bishop's den?
I had received alarming news about his recent behavior. I went to his place and he refused to let me go.
Why did he abduct you?
William was an alcoholic. His addiction suddenly changed to blood. I don't know why. Just like a patient I met here. This Miss Hawcroft.
I can tell you why.
You dared to enter this awful place alone. You're a hero, Mr. Hampton. Or a fool.
I'm just a man trying to help his friends, Dr. Reid. William Bishop was a conflicted soul, searching for light.
What is the general situation in the East End docks?
The situation has always been tough, with a lot of tensions between the gangs and the Dockers' trade union. The Wet Boot Boys are very nervous since they lost their leader.
Who leads the gang now?
Since Clay Cox went missing, it's his wife Edwina who runs the show, with the assistance of her minion, Booth Digby.
Has the gang been threatening you?
Ah, no. I've had this nickname for so long, you know, the sad saint of the East End. No one dares to bug a saint, not even criminals.
Do you know Tom Watts, the bartender from the Turtle? I met him before I found you in the canning factory.
Tom? Yes, of course. Always the helping
Oh yeah,
hand,
the
good old
bartender.
Tom. Without men like him, corruption and despair would have wiped out the East End long ago.
People are still in despair.
How could it be otherwise? The authorities have left us all to rot in this contagious nightmare. No drugs, no advice, nothing. It's a damn shame.
Who should I avoid in this part of town, then? Any particularly evil figures?
Not really. Most men and women are just doing their best. And it's not my habit to speak ill of people I know, Doctor.
Alright, let's get to the nitty-gritty.
Have you made friends since you arrived?
Not really. But I recognize Miss Harriet Jones. I knew her when she lived by the docks. That poor woman had
I don't
such
think
a
I've
miserable
met her yet.
You never came to see her here at Pembroke. Receiving visits when sick can be an important part of the healing process, you know. We're not just bodies.
You're preaching to the converted now, Doctor. To be truly honest, I thought she was dead. She left the docks many months ago.
What do you do for a living, Mr. Hampton? I can't help but notice the cross around
I was
your
gonna
neck.
say,
I
don't we
manage
already
a
know
night
what he
asylum
does?
for the poor and homeless of the docks. And I try to guide the lost and hesitant on the right path to our Lord.
Are you a priest, Mr. Hampton? A deacon, maybe?
Not at all, Doctor. I'm just a man of faith willing to preach the good word.
Why didn't you use your cross against William Bishop? To repel him somehow?
That's a very strange
Believe in
question, Doctor.
vampires?
A cross is no magical token, if that's what you were trying to say. Not mine, anyway.
How do you feel, Mr. Hampton? Medically speaking, I mean.
I feel exhausted. Beyond exhaustion, actually. William drank so much of my blood in his madness. I feel empty.
You're in good hands here. Dr. Swansea is well versed in blood transfusion, and I'm sure he'll take the best care of you.
Thank you, sir. I believe all I need is rest. And then I can go back to the people who need me.
Goodbye, Mr. Hampton. We'll talk again later.
We might have actually talked to everybody.
It's locked.
Minus one fella. Two fellas. Okay, I guess we'd already met Sean, so there's two guys crossed out. Not saying that they're actually even here. So, okay, so that's all of that down that way. We've already done that. We've already done upstairs. It's getting really close to time, and so because I really don't want us to just open the morgue door and just be like, we're done. So we're gonna cut it there, and we'll have a much less talking and reading episodes hopefully from here on out. I know these last two have just basically been, hey, meet everybody at the hospital. So I'm Happy Tangent. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you probably in a much more action-oriented video next time. See you then.